bad the game is, the intro still
song.
makes me feel good. So
That fucking song, dude.
that's good. Welcome back, everybody, to Wolves After Dark. You know, we knew we were going to have some games like this. We were just hoping it wasn't 4 games in. So Timberwolves lose. Final score looks a lot better than it actually was. We were down by 35 in the third quarter at some point. But we end up only losing by like 10 or 15 or something like that. So
Yeah, 11.
I guess that's a win, but not fun. Bad game overall. So many things to talk about, yet so many things I don't want to talk about because of how bad it was. It's just like it's just pain. Pain is ever, as Christian Ronaldo or Rondo says, and Gerald, who just starred on Cooper's stream.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. Thoughts?
I also have a lot of thoughts that I don't want to talk about right now. I was kind of wanting to not do a routine show tonight. I think we should honor thy gift of the intro music by doing a tier list tonight anyways. But I think there's more to come. There's more of this to come. I think we are one of the worst teams in the league right now. It's showing, it's rearing its head. We're slow, we're lazy, we're apathetic, we don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
We wake up to Monday morning newspaper that reads, "Oh, Wolves playing Spurs. Hit the snooze button. Don't pull up for Jays. Don't do your morning sprints. Eat a double decker con queso. Like eat them all because it's just the Spurs. It's just a white-haired, rookie or whoever the crap that guy is kicking our ass.
Rodman too, yeah.
Young, hungry teams. No shit's given. No entitlement. Want to prove themselves. Already written off. They're going to run the gym. They're going to run us out of the gym. We saw it with the Jazz. We saw it with OKC. Being a competitive team versus the Timberwolves. We saw it tonight in spades. Hopefully some of this shit humbles us. Hopefully it hits us home hard. I thought it was kind of an interesting little pivot from the norm when he actually kept all of our starters in for the majority of the fourth quarter. That was cool to see. Kind of punish you because you suck, as opposed to rewarding other players for you sucking. I think we're going to see a lot of this. Also, my question to you, Cameron, is 50 wins in play? Is Vegas right? Are the people who pay no attention to the Timberwolves better analysts than us, who spend all of our lives breathing this shit in and out?
Well, I will say in an unrecorded video or an unpublished video, I did have us only winning 46 games.
That's looking pretty fucking good.
That's looking pretty good.
That data up. See, I told you.
Yeah. But no, as much as I do want to hit the panic button and as much as I do feel terrible tonight, I do think that we did say that the beginning of the season, although we are playing lesser teams, as in the Spurs that are now 3-1, the Jazz who are now undefeated. We're playing these teams.
Lost tonight.
Did they lose tonight? Oh, darn.
Dude, even the mighty have to fall.
I guess. But
the mighty Sextons and Walker Kesslers of the league have to fall.
Yeah, Walker Kesslers. No, but I still think 50 wins is in play. I think that we could probably safely assume that 60 wins is not in play anymore. I think
you can already write off 70.
70 is gone. 60 is probably also gone. 50 is probably a best case scenario right now. I mean, I don't want to overreact too much to the first 4 games because we've been saying this every stream so far, is that like we're going to have growing pains here in the beginning of the season. Sure, maybe we hope that we wouldn't lose or get down to the Spurs by 35 points. But this is growing pains, and you need Target Center to boo you. Every game that they've played in Target Center, they have been booed this season. So
yeah,
it's rough.
Did you say growing pains or growing pains? Because I couldn't see the difference while I was watching the game because they were fucking like walking on eggshells out there. They were barely playing. Must have been a hamstring. Must have been a groin injury. I don't know. As I said, we look like the worst team in the league right now. Haven't really been following other teams, but I'm just going to make that over a generalization. Okay. Big question number 2. I typed this up, so I got to say it to you.
Yes.
Did we overcompensate in the off season? It's early. It's fucking 3 games for fucking, I don't even know what record is, 1-10. But did we overcompensate? Did we overcorrect in the off season?
The thought definitely passed through my mind during this game, especially seeing how well our previous players have been playing and just like how well they fit into our system. We only had 1 year of that team really. I guess we had 2, but like with Pat Bev and things like that was like 1 year of solid basketball. And having Pat Bev, having Vando, having that is all nice, but I don't know. And the funny thing is like Rudy up until this game, we were like so high on Rudy and like how could he have a bad game? Spoiler, this was a bad game for Rudy. As Almighty is saying in the chat, Rudy letting the Spurs center hit floaters over him. Also, he's letting like Doug McDermott drive and finish over him one-on-one. It was just a bad game all around. And the one thing I will say, as much as I am kind of, I don't want to say anti-towns, but I said this last stream, like we're more on that spectrum.
We're on the suburbs.
Yeah, we are in the south end of the town spectrum, but we he was kind of the only player that looked like energized tonight.
Well, it's
I'm
because
not
he didn't show up the other night.
That is true, but like he kind of looked like our only player that cared tonight. And in ways he made some of the best plays of the game. He was the only one really making shots. Ant maybe had like a moment or two here, but actually Ant had a couple good finishes, but like overall, he was like 3 for 14 at a point. Maybe that's what he finished at. I don't remember, but it was just ugly all around. And yeah, we're going to find out here in the next probably 15 games to the answer to your question if we overcompensated in the offseason. What do you think?
I feel like I'm going to cop out on my own question and say it's too early to tell.
Yeah,
I think it's just early in the season. We're playing against teams that we aren't like, gearing up for and eating spaghetti dinners for. I do feel strongly that our team last year was a hell of a lot more fun to watch than this year. I feel strongly that the players that were high energy, high octane gave a shit last year. And I do feel that there's a little bit of entitlement. And whose team is this? And who has the ball now? Kind of ball watching bullshit that's happening on this roster that while we had last year, it was like we had a little bit more clear lines divided in the sand, like who's having the ball, who's going to get the ball typically. We're trying to get everyone involved because, oh yeah, look at us. Look, we're the Minnesota Timberwolves with a new roster. We're going to fucking blow out everyone. And, oh, Jaden's going to shoot some threes and miss them. And Rudy's going to get some, alley-oops that are going to be, turnovers and stuff like that. We got to get everyone involved, but it should be Ant's team. Ant should be chucking 30 shots a night. And like, he barely was out there tonight. You could barely see him. I thought of fucking Wiggins tonight, and they even brought up Wiggins in the broadcast. I thought of him. I'm like, no, don't do this. Don't have an on and off like performance sequence. It has to be sustained. It has to be every night. You can't call off a game. That's not what this is about. Every win matters for us, and it should, because the standings are going to look like in April a lot different than they look like right now, where it's like, oh, we have so much runway. In April, there's no runway. We need a spot in the playoffs. Otherwise, this trade is going to look like a disaster. I think we might have overcompensated. Initially, when the trade went down, I kind of went, oh, shit. Oh, no. And then immediately, 24 hours later, I was like, we just got the best player. We got the player, and I felt so high on that. Yep. And I was like, okay, let me kind of immediate reaction, like, gut check myself and think that this is going to amount to something. Cameron, when you're down 35, is Rudy Gobert worth $40 million to you?
No.
What amount of Rudy Gobert's out there is going to help the deficit?
Yeah, you just can't get in that situation. You need to have players on your team that don't allow that to happen.
And one of them should be Rudy Gobert.
And one of them should be Rudy. Yeah. But he was honestly, he was a big part of it tonight. He was a big part of why we were down early. His defense was just not good tonight. effort wise, just like
Visible.
energy wise, was not there. But yeah, and JJ brings up a good point, and I was kind of talking to you about this during the game. There's rooted like issues in this team that go beyond just like this roster construction,
Yeah.
and it's just Minnesota like basketball, Timberwolves basketball, as Town says, for the past like decades. We've had these bad issues, same issues. I mean, John Krasinski tweeted something tonight, and I kind of thought at the same time when we were watching the game. There was this point where Towns like did some like cut to the basket, D'Lo passed it to him, and it was kind of wide open, and he made it. And he's like, I think that's the first time I've ever seen that happen. And I was like, I think it is too, because you never see the Timberwolves just run a normal pick and roll where like we successfully lob it or successfully get somebody open. This could be a part of a D'Lo issue currently, where like D'Lo does the pick, and then during the roll he kind of just like dribbles around and doesn't do much. There's another one. I should pull up this clip because it's ridiculous. Jonah, I don't know if Jonah's here right now, but they tweeted it and they're like, tell me what is bad about this clip. And it was just, I'll share it here because it's just like, I hate this clip so much, but it needs to be shown. Let's see here.
Yeah, we just had players last year. Like some of our offense was just we made shots and it looked nice because we were just making shots. And Ant would have a night, Cat would have a night that would double Cat. So then the offense was kind of serving itself, playing 4-on-3, playing 3-on-2.
Mm-hmm.
We were fast, we were hungry, we had defensive stops that led to transition buckets. I think we got outscored like 75,000 to 2 tonight in fast break points. I read that as a stat, so don't fact check me or anything because.
Well, hopefully this is working. Can you see the full screen right now?
I can see click to exit full screen, but I can see the tweet behind it that's all blurred.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, let's just do this then. Boom, 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 boom. We'll just play it like this.
The great one says, too soon to be convinced this won't work. We got to see this after 20 games. Yeah,
so,
but,
yeah,
look at these screens. Some of this is like, some of this is just a culture thing. Like, why are the Spurs so fucking good 3 games in?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yep, exactly. And like, look at these screens that Towns is doing. These are like, what are these screens? Like, these are nothing. And this is just what we've seen for the past however many decades. And Rudy has better screens than this, but like you can't just have one player come in and completely change everything about your team. That's not how that works. So
that was a good one. Thank you for sharing. I think I was kind of half-assed watching this game. Like it ballooned into whatever it was, 35-ish points. And, I almost wanted to turn off. I almost wanted to not do the stream tonight. And then I was like, I thought better of it. But we got it down to 10 at halftime. How are you feeling at half? Well, okay. The worst fourth quarter of all time. Like, it was so sad, so embarrassing. But then I just chalked it up to, okay, rust. This is the first time we've had a back-to-back. Yep. Second quarter, we kind of started, like, chipping at the lead. We brought it down to 10. Like, we brought down a 20-plus deficit down to 10. Halftime.
It felt... So we actually got it down to 7 just before that, and I felt pretty good. I was like, you know what, 7 at half, that's okay. And then we gave up a 3, and it was okay, 10, still acceptable. Like, you can come back from 10. That's not a big deal. Yep. But then the third quarter happened, and I think they started on a 14 or 16-0 run or something like that. So. And then
our first points were from like Jalen Noel off the bench
at like the 6-minute mark. Like, I mean. That is terrible. And especially you come out of the half and you have like, what's that guy's name? The Micah Nori. Yeah. He comes out and he talks about how like the energy. Yeah. He's like, the energy's got to change. And he's just coming out of the locker room saying these things. So you would imagine that all the players are feeling some urgency, and they're just not. And I hate to say this so early in the season, but like, there's a part of this is Chris Finch's and the coaching staff's fault. Like, how do these players not have motivation to play this game? How do they not have fire coming out of the third quarter? I think the first play out of the third quarter was a turnover. I think it was. Yeah, it was either that or there was a timeout where there was a timeout too, where we took a timeout and D'Lo came down and just turned it over immediately after a
Yeah,
timeout. And it's like these are just you cannot have these mistakes happen against any team. Um, but especially when you're down and you're just like you're behind. It's just so frustrating to see as a fan. Um, and I guess I can only hope that this is just truly growing pains that we will get out of in 10 or 15 games, but it's really hard to see through it right now. I'm just holding on to hope.
yeah. That's 2012 era life, not 2022. Like we need more than just hope right now. I
Yeah.
think has to come from within, has to come from literally everyone who's making more than we do on a regular basis. Dude, halftime adjustments, we made none. We made negative adjustments.
Seriously, there was none.
Uh,
I mean,
do we just have inflated egos that like this is what we did wrong, and Cat's like nah, and it's like nah, dude, nope. I'm gonna
one
do more of what I did.
yeah, one thing I was actually also thinking about during the game was, and I hate to keep harping on like Pat Bev being like this like leader of the team. I mean, he really was though. But like he had that moment in the beginning of last season where he sat everybody down and was like, everybody say what you think your role is on this team.
Yeah.
And I think that something like that is what this team needs. We have more talent now, and players have gotten better. Like Ant is better. I mean, technically better this year. Jaden should be better this year. People have more expectations. So I think they need to know what their roles are for them, what they think themselves, and what others think of them. Because right now it's just all over the place and it seems like a hodgepodge of like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like it's like Towns is going back and forth between being this like I want a triple double player that's only going to score 10, 10, and 10 to like I want to shoot everything. And Gobert is just kind of going back and forth between, I mean, he's been okay until tonight, but like Ant started terribly in his first game, had two pretty good games, 30-point games, and now back down to earth. It's just like it's just going all over the place. And I feel like we need direction. Obviously, you and I kind of agree that we think it should be Ant that is like the leader, and then everybody else kind of falls in behind that. But man, it's just it's not fun to watch right now. But we'll see. You want to do a quick tier list?
Yeah, Casper. By the way, welcome. I don't feel like I've seen Casper. I've seen a Casper.
Yeah, I remember Casper. I don't remember who was Casper, but either way.
Oh, hey, welcome.
Welcome.
And it looks like flowers. That's cool. Logo. I was close to the bench, and Finch was pissed in the second quarter, yelling, and they kind of got back into it, but then didn't really see that second half. But had my head in my hands mostly. Yeah, understood. I think Gerald's saying there's got to be a locker room problem. Let's go into the tier list.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to share it.
All right, off season, like right before we hit the the tier list and the promo for our show, like we got some people in the Target Center gym, right? We got some people like in Blocky, whatever, like working on their game together, building chemistry, building camaraderie. These are the players that are kind of on the bench, the Jalen Noels, the Nas Reeds. Wendell Moore comes in and is hanging out with the gang, the people, the crew. Coaching staff's there. You got to enjoy your life. I get it. Towns in Italy. I get it. Doing all sorts of nonsense. That's fine. In the off season, where you just got dumpstered in a Memphis series, your plan is, I got paid my millions. I'm going to go enjoy some life and come into training camp, sick, unwell, not, working on your game. Maybe having a couple promo videos by your friend Chucky, the fuck, making, shots for you, right?
Making some TikToks on the side.
Yeah. Working on that grind, flipping that tire once, and then calling it a night, right? Should you be paying for a bunch of randoms bills at the bar, like the tabs at the bar, or should you be working a game? Like, I know, I get it. Like, there's more than life than basketball, but like for basketball players, should there be? This is like a weird fucking question.
Yeah.
And I think the answer is yeah, but like, should there be actually? Like, until you've proven it, I don't know. You're representing more than just a player in an NBA game. I don't know.
There's a lot
It's kind
more,
of
yeah.
upsetting to me to see this offseason stuff not really materialize, right? And like, what was the game plan this coming season? You got paid your millions. Everyone's coming in and with different, like, they come in at different time periods, even. Like, Ant doesn't show up for the first few days of training camp or media day or whatever. I don't know. You remember that? Like, they just
Yes,
come
yeah.
whenever they fucking want to because now they are. That's the thing. That's the expectation. Just like it's expected for you to fucking bitch at the refs when you don't get a call and like not get back on D, but bitch at the refs. Like, is this the new normal for stars that are entitled that haven't done damn anything in the league yet?
Seriously, yeah. I know. It's crazy. Moises says, might not watch any games until I hear they're getting better. That's okay. You can just watch us. We'll be a good pulse. We'll be a good pulse of how they're doing.
For sure.
Chuck 23 says that was the most pathetic thing I've ever seen. True. And Godfrey, speaking facts as normal. The locker room problems, D'Lo and Cat care more about their Instagram than winning games.
Yeah. D'Lo,
is it?
Yeah.
Is it just me who doesn't like the Chucky guy? No comment. No comment.
Dude, it's
but yes.
Not just you.
I mean, but not just you. Yeah, correct. Yeah, not just you.
All right, let's tier list. Let's tier list the shit out of this.
Let's do it. Okay, so our bench players tonight. I mean, realistically, this was so terrible. I don't even want to talk about the bench, but I guess maybe Jalen Noel and Naz Reid again.
All right, Naz Reid, 12 minutes, 6 points. That's all I'm going to say. In 3, 2, 1, D.
C.
All right.
Did you say D?
Yeah.
I actually thought he had a little bit of pep in his step tonight. He was energetic, and I mean, obviously he didn't bring as much as we needed. I mean, we needed apparently a 40-point performance from Naz tonight, but no, I didn't hate his game tonight. This is probably what I expect out of him, but we'll see let's see. Actually, that's what we'll do since we're split. Let's see what the Discord's actually the Discord. Well, I said see, it's tied 50-50. So I guess we'll go to the lower one since we lost. And
Casper.
Okay.
I hope you're in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, please, that'd be awesome. This is actually I did this tonight. I put everyone in the Glenn Taylor tier, and then I kind of walked it off a little bit. Like the bench players, you can't really Glenn Taylor them. They're asked to do what they're asked to do, but I don't know.
There was a point where I actually had everyone in Wancho tier except for Towns, which was like a weird thing.
Wow.
But
no, he did not move from his seat tonight for me. Okay. Yeah. Jalen Noel, 25 and a half, almost 26 minutes though. Almost 26 minutes. 13 points, 6 for 16 from the field. Made 1 3. I didn't actually see it though. 9 rebounds. That's an interesting stat. And a team high +8. Couldn't really tell you why.
Yeah.
I have a grade for him. In 3, 2, 1, D.
Okay, I guess generally higher. I'm saying C just because like this is exactly what I expect out of him. 13 points, maybe not the best efficiency. The 9 rebounds is certainly more than I expect. That doesn't make any sense as to why he got 9 rebounds tonight, but nor do I remember a single one of them. But Discord says, oh, we've got live votes coming in as I speak right now. It looks like the majority said C. There was a couple D's and a B as well. So we'll go with Discord. We'll give him a C.
There was a time in the 90s when a team would score, 100 points, and you're like, holy shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
You took 86 shots tonight. That's insane. The pace was incredible. Well, the Spurs took 105 shots, and probably 100 of them were at the rim on fast breaks. And sure, we hit at a 40% clip or whatever, 45% clip. That's pretty good on an average, Monday or whatever. We only took 86 shots. Like, how are you expecting to win a game, let alone any game, shooting 86 times when you're expected to shoot 30, 40 threes, get to the line 20 times? We can't even do that.
Also, we didn't even get Arby's again. We're 4 for 4 in not getting Arby's. And we actually weren't even close until the end of the game where we got to 8. But we were at 4 for most of the game.
Wow. That's a pulse on this team, too. If we hit Arby's, we're on the right path. If we're dunking after dark, we're on the right path.
Yep.
Where is that
Instead,
energy, man? We've lost it. We've lost
it was
all of
the
that.
it was the exact opposite. I mean, they were throwing lobs on us tonight. They were hitting all their threes. Like, it was crazy. Um,
What are
oh,
your thoughts on the Chuck 23 saying Glenn Taylor all of them analysis over, end the podcast now?
I agree.
Let's go.
Ending now. No.
Let's go home.
Yeah, no. I mean, I do agree, but
All right, to the starters, because the rest of you bench players, whatever. I don't know what to say. You know what? It's really cool though. Bryn Forbes is on the scoreboard.
he is. He was a
Everybody
little better
praise
tonight.
Bryn Forbes.
He was a little better, but it still wasn't great.
Jaden
All right.
McDaniels, the forgotten man in all of this, who was definitely forgotten tonight. 24 minutes, 4 points, 3 fouls, 3 rebounds, jack all. 3, 2, 1.
Wancho. Yes.
Am I
Yes.
coming
We're
a
finally
little
in
ahead of
sync.
you? Am I rushing it? Should I slow down?
Well, to me, it sounds like we're at the same time, so maybe I just need to go early. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, no.
I will
That
pause.
okay, sounds good. I agree. This was just a bad game from Jaden all around. I mean, nobody had a good defensive effort really tonight. So, and that's a big part of Jaden's game. And really, Jaden's been pretty disappointing to start the season, other than his first game, because like even against the Thunder, he wasn't able to like stop people. The second Thunder game, I should say. But yeah, no, I mean, there's not much else to say other than it's not good.
Dude, what happened, Jaden?
Should have
I never
traded him.
think to see you in this tier list. I want to like sit you down for Chipotle or something. We can't just have coffee. We need to put some pounds on you. So
My hot take
um,
from early last year was maybe correct. No.
yeah,
Trade Jaden when he was high.
trade Jaden when he was high, and he was probably pretty fucking high on that Instagram offseason, when he got his molars taken out. But
Yeah,
31 minutes for D'Angelo, 25 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. Cool stat though. 50% from the field. He took 16 shots, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. That's pretty cool. However, and a block shot. That's pretty cool.
what?
All right, cool. Grade in 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
C.
D.
No, I need
Actually,
to go before.
it's a C.
Yeah,
It's a C.
yeah. I think I think it's the everyone else in the Discord said B actually. And I think it is because he had a really good stat line tonight. But like if you really analyze how that affected the game, other than like the first possession where he hit that three, it wasn't really that impactful. And this was just kind of putting up points on a night where like nobody else was doing anything. So I mean, efficiency was there for sure. It's not like he took like 25 shots and only made 10 of them, but like it was just a game where the scoring didn't really matter. It didn't affect the team in other ways. But I mean, it was a fine game. I mean, this is kind of what I expect out of him, like maybe a little higher on the points than I normally would expect, but this is pretty close to what I expect.
Okay. His stat line is insanely inflated. He had 14 points in that irrelevant fourth quarter where all of his stats were positive, and he was a team high 16, plus 16. He had 2 assists, 2 steals. He had 4 free throws. He's a D. I don't know. All of that stuff doesn't matter. In 8.5 minutes, he, tripled his score output on his box score output.
That is actually true. I think I agree. If it's all in the fourth quarter, then yeah, that's bad.
All in the fourth quarter. That's something I'm going to do when I say the stat line, and you need to do a little bit of micro analysis. I'll look at his stat line from what it was in the first 3 quarters and then in the fourth quarter. All right, so Jaden, you suck. D'Angelo, do better. Anthony Edwards, after a stunning performance, borderline a 1 tier for the Himothy himself. 35.5 minutes, 9 points, 10 rebounds. That's cool. 3 turnovers, 3 for 15 from the floor, 1 for 8 from 3. Barely got to the line tonight. A grade for our man in 3, 2, 1.
Wancho. Yeah, it's just not good. Like the rebound, sure, that's great, but like we need you to be our scorer. We need you to be our energy. Clearly, like, Towns was making buckets in the beginning, but like the crowd responds to Ant, not Carl. So, they're like he is the like emotional leader and like the emotional leader of Target Center and the fans. So like if he can get it going, the team can get it going. And he just couldn't get it going. He's trying everything. He's taking bad shots. Um, it's just I just hate seeing it. And it's great to have 2 30-point games, but like realistically, we've kind of had flashes. This goes for almost everyone, is that we've had flashes of this Timberwolves team throughout every game we've had this season, and it hasn't looked good. We've just happened to win a couple games. So um, I agree. The subreddit, my God, the Discord was split, 6 Wanchos and 5 Ds. So definitely everybody's down on him. And actually, one person said Glenn Taylor.
He's DeWancho.
He's DeWancho.
Yeah. Anthony Edwards took 1-3 in the fourth quarter. He already gave up. He's like, let's pack it in. Let's on to Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see him on the court for 9 minutes doing literally nothing. I think I put him in Glenn Taylor, or I put him in Wancho. Like I'm so sick of this fucking inconsistency, and it's not health, it's not age, it's not fucking wear and tear. It's game 3 or 4. Your legs are fine, your knees are fine. I know it's a back-to-back. That's bullshit, anyways. I get it, but no excuses. I said this on the Discord. You got I don't know what he's making, 6 or 10 million. I forgot what it is, but you don't have a single reason to be discounting any game.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this. I actually am like sick. This is a player that I was like so like ride or die on, and rookie Ant was incredible. It like got us through fucking tough times.
Mm-hmm.
And then that offseason comment, and I feel like that's last year he was talking about Black Jesus and all that stuff. That's what really kind of affected him. I don't know. He's not the same. He's not the same player day to day. That sucks. I need way more out of him for me to believe in this.
I know. It needs to be consistent too. It really can't. I can't. I'm getting to the point where I'm picky, and it needs to be so consistent that it's not just like 2 30s in a row. It needs to be like 10 games of like just solid production before I can like let a game like this slide. And realistically, you can't let a game like this slide because no superstars do. No superstars, like no LeBrons, no Kevin Durant's, no whoever they may be, comes out and drops like 10 and 10. Like what's the stupid thing that Dave Benz used to always talk about with like LeBron's 10-point games or whatever. Like LeBron hasn't had like under a 10-point game in like 400 games or something. I can't remember, but but that there is some like truth to that. Like the stars just don't let that happen, and he is allowing it to happen, and it's just I see Godfrey's comment, D'Lo slowing Ant down. That may be true, but like Ant needs to take over, and he can. We saw it multiple times tonight where he's driving, he's making some kind of incredible layups, but like he needs more. He needs to drive more. He needs to stop settling. He needs to find teammates too. Like it's not all necessarily scoring. The good players don't only score. Like you don't have like these Kevin Durant's and LeBron James and Giannis's going out and just scoring 30 points and calling it a day. Like they're getting assists and rebounds too. Sure, Ant got rebounds tonight, but like assists wise, it was a little low. So just a frustrating night.
I kind of wanted to like go back to the OKC game a minute. Like 30 points, double-digit rebounds. Maybe he didn't get to the line as much as he wanted to, but he just made his shots that spread the defense open so that he can drive to the rim and all that stuff. It was awesome. It was nonstop attack. And guarded by Lou Dort, right? So like he took that matchup personally, and that Lou Dort is no fucking slouch and is paid millions of dollars to be the best defender on the court at times. Who the fuck did they have on Ant tonight? Primo?
Yeah.
Some like 19-year-old looking like a 13-year-old, like,
Yep.
prospect.
Yeah.
I don't know. Take that shit personally, Ant. Like drive the rim with reckless abandon. Who do they have defending the rim last night? Like compared to tonight? Like, I don't know. There was no difference. No matchup is worse than practice versus Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
So like literally everything should be easier than playing against Rudy Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It sucks. Like he just stopped. giving a shit early. Gerald had a point where he like missed his first 3 shots, and he was like, "All right, oh, it's not my game. Let me just sit in the corner."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. God, that fucking pisses me off. I'm like really down right now. I was actually like okay, and then I started talking about Ant. I'm not okay about this one either. Rudy Gobert, 31 and a half minutes, 11 points. 3 block shots, not terrible in a 35-point blowout. 2 fouls, 1 assist, 7 rebounds. He made most of his free throws, and he was 100% from the floor. Our new dude in blue, he blew himself tonight in 3, 2, 1.
Wancho. It's crazy. I know. We were just talking about this. The first 3 games were like, man, Rudy could never have a bad game. Like, what is a bad game for Rudy? 15 and we were talking about last game being 15 and 15, kind of being like a down performance for him. Nope. Apparently, as Timberwolves fans, you can always go lower. And we find that out every night. So Rudy had a bad night, and it wasn't just like lack of opportunity or like, oh, the ball just bounced like a different direction. He couldn't get the rebound. It was like a lack of effort. He was getting beat on drives. He was getting beat for rebounds. He was tapping balls out to nobody. Like it was just bad. Sure, the free throws are nice and like being perfect from the field. He had that nice floater, but like you have to be more impactful as a $40 million player. You just have to. Sure, and like maybe this is his one game like if this is his one bad game in the season, okay, forgivable. But like the same thing that I said with Ant, like the best players just don't allow this to happen. And he allowed this to happen. Ant allowed this to happen. Everybody allowed this to happen tonight. So, just bad, including the coaches. The coaches have to find a way to get these players motivated because I don't like putting blame on the coaches because I do think that the coaches are only a very small part of this. Like the players have to just want it first, but I don't know. Like everyone's to blame for this loss, and like it hurts to put Rudy in Wancho, but like he was the Wancho. He was Wancho level.
Yeah, the first game of the season was pretty promising to see him kind of as an offensive threat, getting him lobs, getting him part of the offense, just like being part of the roster, like the actual roster on one end. When push comes to shove, we're going to chuck. We're going to have no offensive identity. We're going to have one-on-one basketball. We're going to have Cat do floppy things. And we're just going to have, Rudy just kind of stand there and be like a dud on offense. We're going to give him the ball 4 times. He's going to get 4 layups or dunks. That was a really interesting like shot put, like mid-ranger that he did that one time when like Cat was like, oh, there's 3 seconds left. Let me just toss it to Rudy there. That was like one of the plays of the game for me, honestly. But when we're down big, which is going to happen this season, we just have to accept it as a loss, apparently, because Rudy can't pull us back into the game. Cat's going to, be on the bench pouting with foul trouble probably. Ant's going to take the night off because he's going to miss a couple shots in a row. Yeah, so Gobert's in there for those close games, those tight series, those tight games, the 0-0, start the games where he's the jump ball go-getter. But when we're losing, man, I have a hard time. Like I'm picturing what Gobert does to help us. And it's, well, I got to see it, but it's obvious. We got to just push tempo. We got to push our identity forward. We got to find ourselves early in the season because otherwise we're going to look at each other, point at each other, ask for trades or demand them.
Yeah. It's, God, I hate this. Yeah. I wasn't in that bad of a mood starting and now I am.
I'm in a pretty bad mood.
Yeah. This is not good.
And it's not good because our next player, Carl, family comes first. Anthony Towns, Minnesota basketball, 40 minutes, team high, 40 minutes, wow. 27 points, 4 turnovers, 5 fouls, 5 assists, 11 rebounds, made all his free throws. Fuck yeah. 2 for 6 from 3, which has been a fucking routine every night. He's only shooting 2 threes and he's only making 2 threes a game. Isaiah Roby, right? He made 2 threes a game. Who's that fucking Mike Muscala? He made 2 threes last night. All right. I have a grade for him. I
Yeah.
know you have a grade for him. But
Yep.
before you actually give a grade for him,
Mm.
all that shit came in the fourth. Oh, he had 8 out of his 27 or whatever in the fourth quarter. He
Yeah, no,
made
he
both
was
his
pretty
threes.
tough.
He made both his threes in the fourth quarter, and he was a team high 21 plus 21. All right, so essentially 19 points.
Yep.
Is all I'm trying to say. My grade for him, our grade for him, in 3, 2, 1, D.
D. Hey, good. We agree. Yeah,
Almost put him
honest.
in. Almost put him in Wancho. Almost put him in Glenn Taylor. But I thought better of it. Maybe
I,
he was one of the best players tonight.
yeah, I mean, he
It turns
definitely
out it's
was.
Jalen Noel. But anyways,
Yeah, I mean, obviously the tier list is just based off of expectations of a player, but like, I, I mean, there was like a point tonight where Cat actually in the first half, again, my expectations for Cat have severely dropped in the past couple of years just because I know the player he is. I know the person he is now. Like we've seen him enough. Like we understand that he's going to make a lot of mistakes. And like in the beginning of this game, like he was kind of our only bright spot. And he was looking kind of like ready to go. He was a little bit energetic, at least compared to everyone else. Um, and I was kind of there was a point where I was even like, man, just keep giving Cat the ball, which is like something I rarely say. But it was like he's the only one working right now. And there was a time where I even thought that I might even put him up in the C realm tonight. But, all the fouls came, he had a lot of the bad fouls again. And, you know, like you said, everything fell off. And then like what do the points matter in the fourth quarter when you're down 35 and the Spurs are collapsing basically. They're collapsing to the point where it doesn't even matter if they gave up every bucket because we wouldn't be able to come back. Um so yeah, I mean I just think it's a D. Um and, I mean, I'm glad to see a performance like this where it's, like, a little bit better. This is the highest grade for Towns this season. He's on the upwards motion. Um, he's digging himself out of the trenches of Wancho and, Glenn well, no, he's only been Wancho, I think.
he's
Maybe
only been a
oh,
Wancho.
and I think he was a D last time, maybe. I can't remember. But this was a higher D than the last time, maybe. But, no, yeah, it's just still a bad game, and, I guess you could say, like, the argument that I was just making about Ant and Gobert, like you don't allow this to happen to you as a good player, but um, it's a little different with Cat because it is a little bit more stat padding and like trying to just like have the like facade of being a star, um,
Ooh.
but he really
Hit me
was
with that
somewhat.
architectural dirty.
He really was like somewhat impactful in the beginning of the game, but like end of the game, whatever. That's just every player is just padding their stats and just getting as many points as they can on what we thought the Spurs would look like in the fourth quarter. Um, so yeah, Discord was kind of all over the place on Towns tonight. Somebody had him in B, some people had C, some people had D, some people had Glenn Taylor. I mean, Glenn Taylor's not wrong, um, but yeah, Timberwolves basketball, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god. Um, dare I say his best performance this season? And it's like I'm going to say it. It's the best D of all time.
Yeah, yeah,
27 points,
yeah.
and he
This
gets a
is
D grade, right?
yeah.
Um, fuck. He was guarding Keldon Johnson. Fuck. He was guarding Jeremy Sohan. Like he was guarding Zach Collins. Like, get the fuck out of the gym if you're getting owned by these dudes. I don't give a shit if you're scoring 8 points against Isaiah Roby. I give a shit that you're scoring 8 points, period, in a quarter when it matters.
Yep.
I thought his body language was okay tonight.
Mhm.
But there are so many times when I point to him, I'm like watching him like a hawk because I know what is about to happen. You can predict his instincts and what he wants to do and what he's going to do and not falter from that, not do anything against that.
Mhm.
And drives to the rim, falls to the floor, fast break, easy 2 points for the Spurs. Next time up the court, shoots top of the key three, Bitches at the refs. Guess what's happening? It's a long rebound. Oh, and Sohan's already getting a layup. Wolves basketball. In a nutshell, in 2 possessions. It was really cool tonight. The first time I feel like I've seen it in his entire career is him standing in the corner.
Yeah.
Have you seen that ever before?
No, rarely.
I thought it
Ever.
was kind of interesting. It's like our 1A. What if you put LeBron in the corner and just like, hey, let's hang out there for a minute? Like that doesn't work, right? What if you put Kawhi Leonard in the corner and be like, just chill? We did that with Cat
Yeah.
for a while, and it was kind of feeling okay because it's like the best like position for Cat to be in. Because that's saying Ant can drive to the rim because that helper can't help because that's Cat, the best, big footed 3-point shooter in the league. And Cat can only do one of 2 things: shoot, pump fake, and shoot, or I guess the 3 things, or drive with only one player to who's already in defensive position. So it was kind of like a wake up call for me, being like, okay, Cat could be like Draymond Green, just sit in the fucking corner and pass and be a good distributor and be just more of that type of player, and then just shoot and be the best shooter on the perimeter at any given moment because his only option is to shoot. He has so much more real estate and bandwidth to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. If you say, hey, your mindset is now here, there, you're here, as opposed to like, what the fuck am I doing here? There it is. As opposed to like, here's the opportunity for you. Here's the opportunity for you. You can only like narrow it to like that point. You can only shoot or drive. Like narrowing his focus is probably going to be like awesome for us. He can't audible. He can't do behind the back passes because you're going to be behind the back to Finch.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I like that. So that's a positive. That's a takeaway. Ant rebounding, Jalen Noel rebounding. That's a takeaway. A couple passes to Gobert was cool to see. Godfrey might be right. D'Lo might be hampering Ant's game a bit.
Could be.
Everyone's probably right. This team is just entitled bullshit, and we have no identity on either side of the floor. We have lost ourselves a bit because we've done an overhaul of our roster. It doesn't feel like an overhaul, but we've had massive overhaul this season, this offseason. And I think younger teams, the teams that didn't do as much roster turnover, is going to be better in the early onsets of every season. But it just feels like we have no fun out there either. And when we're losing, we just fucking pack it in. We mail it in. It's been sad to see, sad to say, and I'm embarrassed for this team. I'm embarrassed for us as fans and friends of the franchise. Like we want this team to do well. I hope that they want to do well, but like when you show up sluggish, and like I don't see you can't really prove that to me.
Yeah, okay, Gerald, man, oh man. Please don't be true though, but this does kind of feel like it. This is Jimmy Butler year basketball, lifeless. Like we just like that was not a fun year to watch basketball. I certainly hope that is not what happens this year. I don't want to just be we win 50 some odd games, but we really aren't fun to watch. Like I don't want to be that. And we really shouldn't be with the players we have, but so far we aren't even winning. So I mean, we're 2-2, but I know I highlighted that comment.
Yeah, I just kind of want to highlight it again.
But it is
true. I feel like Christian Rondo is the smartest man in the room sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. Man, it's just disappointing. And I guess okay. So here's my one. This is going to be the ranting part of the show. Okay, this is my one rant for the night. Over the years, in Minnesota sports in general, especially the Timberwolves will have a moment where they're like, okay, we are going to hype up a couple games. We're going to give away like deals for tickets for certain games, which they did. Valley Sports North had their like box office buyout or whatever they called it. I don't remember. So they had like $45 lower level tickets, which is amazing. That gives a lot of people, especially like lower income families, a chance, and maybe some new people that haven't seen the Timberwolves before, a chance to go to a game for cheaper. And they had $5 tickets for the upper level. So like it's like a crazy good deal, great for new people to go to the game, not pay too much because obviously like concessions, parking, all that stuff is crazy. And what do? We do it against 2 Spurs. So we do it today's game and Wednesday's game against the Spurs. So like obviously they're trying to fill the court or fill the target center for like bad games, but they're anticipating wins. What do? We go down by 35 points. People were leaving in the third quarter. Like, how we're just so bad. The players, the front office, there's just like some huge disconnect. These have to be these kind of games where you have a deal like this. It's like, okay, Casper, you got to sit like right behind the bench for $45. That's crazy. And instead, it's like you get to see maybe one of the worst basketball games we've played as a franchise with four of the best players we've had on the franchise in our starting lineup. It's just, I'm so sick of it. And this is just one example. This is just this year. This happens every year. We win a couple games in a row, we go up against a big team, we lose terribly. There's never enough momentum. They talk about this a lot in basketball where it's like winning plays or like momentum buckets. Like, that doesn't happen for the Timberwolves. That just doesn't happen. And our moment to kind of really like take some kind of a win on the fans, get some more people into the fan base, we just miss. And Target Center is just destined to be the library forever, like where it's just dead silent and all we do is occasionally boo when our players aren't playing well. That's my rant. I'm sick of it.
Well, the library was my favorite bar growing up at the U of M. I don't know if they have the library anymore, but that was my favorite bar anyways.
Yeah.
What is it going to take? Like 5 more practices? 10 more practices? 11 more practices? 12? I'm just kidding.
Well, here's what I'll say. If we don't come out on Wednesday and not just win, but win like super convincingly by like 30 points, my panic button or my panic level is like through the roof. Because especially if we lose, but if we don't win by like 20 plus points, unless it's some weird thing where like, oh, we're in garbage time and we have like Luka Garza, who I think it just got actually put into Iowa, but like, have like players like that out there for like the whole fourth quarter and they happen to give up like 30 points or something, that's different. But if our starters and like our bench players, like our first off the bench players, cannot get a 30-point lead against the Spurs, then either the Spurs are going to the finals or we are destined to go to the lottery, which we don't even have a pick.
Wow. Are the Spurs going to the finals before us? Fuck.
Probably.
I remember going through the season schedule and saying, what the fuck at the schedule? And I'm actually kind of saying thank you, God, for the schedule, because we have these 7 games of like, what is this, right? Mm-hmm. We have basically a learning experience with OKC where we get to play them multiple times. We have film on them so we can scout them and do like a little mini series. We have a home and home with the Spurs. Wait, home. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the fuck it is. We're playing the Spurs twice. And I'm usually against that kind of shit. But I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We get to see film on the team we're going to play and have actual like meaningful conversations about like what went wrong and put, rhythm to the, the rhyme. Wednesday's better be a blowout. Wednesday's got to be like a 50 point first quarter. Like everyone's got to give a shit, find itself, play aggressively for each other. Mm-hmm. Carson. Cristian Ronaldo. Cristian Rondo. There we got him. Put it, a few minutes ago, like Rudy excels with like flow. We excelled last year with just like fucking early offense, pick and pop, right? So Rudy's like, maybe that's a little bit of an oversight. However, if we have flow, we're going to have the best looking team in the NBA because the ball's going to be moving. It's going to be a hot potato, and it's going to be off. Cat's going to get the ball. Cat's going to get touches. Who are you going to guard? Mm-hmm. It's so easy to predict what we're doing now. When the ball's moving, how the fuck do you guard this? So I'm going to be very interested to see how we grow from today till Wednesday, but it's got to be like, I don't know, a team-only meeting. Hire Patrick Beverley as a consultant.
Yeah, it's just got to be a huge 180. I mean, last season, for what it's worth, we've said this a couple times, unfortunately, already this season, but we did start 4-9 last season. and we still were able to make the
Oh, that's
playoffs
depressing as fuck.
through the play-in, and we looked really bad. Like we really did look bad. To the point where I was like super, super low on the team. Like I was very vocal about trading Cat at that moment. And I was just like down bad. Um, please, let's not do that again. Please turn it
Yeah.
around.
Fuck. Are we gonna get to 4-9? D'Lo says never too high, never too low, right? Goose
Mhm.
Fabra, just like kind of be even keel. Let's not be this low again. This is fucking low. This is sad. This is not anywhere where I want to be. At least we're not the Lakers, but we might as well be the Lakers. We have as much money into our team as they probably do, and it's not looking like it's paying off results. And yeah, it's early in the season, but actually, yeah, it's part of the season. It should matter as much as Game
Mhm.
82 does. Game 1 should matter as much as that. So win at all costs, blow out the team you're supposed to blow out. I want to see some fucking 20 minutes of Wendell Moore. That's my goal for Wednesday. Blow this fucking team out and getting our bench in there. So,
Yeah,
um, I don't know. I could actually keep going. I don't want to, but
I know.
it's
Yeah,
real sad, real depressing to watch this type of team wanting to turn it off. But by the way, planning your whole day around this fucking team,
I know.
reading the pregame, going on the forums, trolling some goddamn idiots, blocking some other ones and muting them and reporting them and whatever the fuck it is.
Mhm.
Logging into your other account, your burner account, and doing the same thing. Listening to Johnny A and Main Door and the Podfathers themselves. Rewatching our shows, dude. It's like the whole thing. It's like our whole day is dedicated to these fucking teams, and they scrub all over the floor.
And yeah, think about like all of you in here right now. All of you are here still. Like we care, and
It's a
there's times
12-hour affair.
this is like a big deal for us. Like this is like we like Ashley was saying, like obviously we do because we do the shows, but like every fan is planning their day around the Timberwolves. They're thinking about, oh, you know what, after school or after work or whatever it may be, like I'm gonna go watch the Timberwolves. And then after the game, I'm gonna feel so good because we won against the bad Spurs or whatever. And it's like I'm thinking about like the next game and like, oh man, this is gonna be fun. I can't wait till April until we're in the playoffs and we're just like Target Center's rocking. Instead, I'm here like thinking, man, that was so bad that I wonder if the Timberwolves are going to give out free tickets for Wednesday because of like how terrible that was.
Yeah.
Like that was so bad, but I'm still invested. So it's just so frustrating. And I hope they give out free tickets. I mean, sure, I'll go because that should be a good game. And if there are free tickets, the Discord will know about it. So follow the Discord. But yeah, I don't know. Gerald, the amount of time I spend on this team is insane. Yeah, true.
Yeah, real facts here. I used to spend more time. I used to spend every waking hour
Mhm.
on this team. At work, I'd be half-ass working every game day because I'm reading the forums, doing 4 types of forums. Fucking real GM, ESPN boards, Reddit, all that dumbass can of soup shit. I'm
Mhm.
doing it all. And I'm listening to podcasts. And I'm barely working. It's like I fiend this team. I want to find another version of myself where I'm thinking that's not a priority anymore. However,
Mhm.
win the fuck out of these games, and I'm going to just care a lot more about the wins and less about like how we get them. Right? Okay. Finch. It was ugly and unacceptable. They kicked their ass, and we felt it. They just out punked us in every way possible. Cool. Great. Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course we saw it. I mean, sure, I'm glad he's recognizing it and not just saying some like coach speak of like, oh yeah, well, like things happen on any given night. Like, I'm glad it wasn't that, but like, yeah, what does it matter? I mean, we lost by we were down 35 at a point, so I just don't care. But here, you want to do something
Well,
fun?
yeah.
Okay, we're gonna end the show. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna do something that we've never done. Maybe we've done it, and feel free to comment along in the chat. But let's, and I'm putting you on the spot again, and I can go first. But let's do a prediction for either Wednesday or Friday, like a
We get to
bold
pick one.
prediction, not just like the Timberwolves come back and win, like Ant goes for 40 on Wednesday or something of that like nature. It can be Wednesday or Friday, and the reason I say that is because I have one for Friday against the Lakers.
Okay, so we play the Spurs on Wednesday. We play the Lakers on Friday. Are they both at home?
They are both at home, yes.
Any prediction? Anything you want me?
Anything could be good or bad.
Well, let's just say Ant goes off for like 45 points in one of those two games.
Okay. Well, here's mine, and it's not a good one. so
Or lose both.
maybe I lied when I said that it was fun, but I think that on Friday against the Lakers, Russell Westbrook returns to his 2017 form and triple doubles on us with at least 20 points. That's my prediction.
Who do we have to guard him? We have it'll be Jaden, but then who's guarding LeBron? It'll be Ant, but then who's guarding AD? It's going to be Cat, but then who's guarding? Like, actually, that's going to be crazy. I don't know. Do we match up well against the Lakers? I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know.
Oh boy,
but
yeah. As JJ Great says,
I think it's possible. I think we see Westbrook screaming at target center after he drains some three late in the fourth quarter, or maybe the third, early enough to put us out of our misery. We're down by 30. I don't know if that's going to happen against the Lakers, but
we can hit the bars early then.
Yeah, we'll head over to the Brothers, which is closed. But
or the Library, which is also closed.
If that happens, oh boy, Friday's show is going to be a doozy. So,
I want to hold back right now, but I got to ask you. Do you have like a button? Like a panic button? Do you have like a everything's fine button? Do you have like a this is early in the season button? Do you have like a when is it time to press? Should we have drafted Jahlil Okafor button?
I weirdly was like kind of okay with drafting Jahlil Okafor because I remember how they kept talking about how huge his hands were. And I wanted because you know how I love these like post centers, big hands. But you know how I love these traditional centers like DeAndre Ayton. I was like a big fan, and I thought that was going to be a really good thing for our team. But I also I was more pro Cat at that time. So, yeah, I mean, my panic button is if we don't have a winning record after these first 7 games, panic button is fully pressed, and I am like out the door. I am trying to find a different team. Like maybe we shut down the streams until Seattle has a team. Like I don't know. Like that may happen if we
That's gonna hurt.
Winning. If we don't have a winning record after the first 7 games, it's over. Now, if we end 5-2 after these first 7 games, that's everything's okay. Everything's fine. Okay. I'm like I don't like the beginning of the season because we really should probably be 7-0 to start the season, but 5-2 is acceptable, and maybe some building blocks are built in these first 7 games of like some character building. But if we're 3-4, if we're 3-4, or if we're 2-5, like no way, I can't do the season if we're 2-5. I can't.
It's been 4 games, and I already forgot my record. I've already forgot our record. I actually thought we were 1-3.
We're still above. We're still at 500.
We won a game apparently. Oh yeah, we won yesterday. We were 4-9 last year. So if we improve, that proves that Rudy Gobert trade was successful, right? If we're 5-8, is 5-8 acceptable?
No, that's really bad. Especially, I mean, if 5-8, because then you're pretty deep into the season. I mean, not deep into the season, but you're definitely in the season. Then, if you have 8 losses and 5 wins at that point, like that is time where it's kind of like, oh, maybe it's time to trade Towns or D'Lo or everyone other than Ant and Jaden and maybe Rudy. I don't know.
Wow, hot take. You're gonna trade them before the trade deadline? That early?
I mean, I guess, with the only stipulation being like, what does the West look like? Because if 5-8 isn't that far out, like if all the teams are close to like 500 and we're 5-8,
yeah,
maybe.
If we're at that point, Cameron, what happens first? What typically happens first? Sorry if I'm
Locker
quizzing
room
you. Right?
meltdowns.
We fire the coach.
True. Which is
They always
crazy.
are the first to fall. Is Finch's time ticking?
If we're 5-8, oh yeah. I mean, there's everybody that has like a timer, their time is up. You know, whether it's Finch, Towns, D'Lo, everyone. You know, like everyone that has that like ticking time of like, oh well, if you're not good by this point, 5-8 is like, you know, major DEFCON 5, whatever, like is bad.
It's great to see those halftime, little episodes and pregame stuff by Mike and Nora. But can Mike and Nori um, coach us with phrases and slogans?
Yeah. I don't know, but I might love
idioms
it.
and
I might love all
analogies.
these. He would be a great post game interview. He would be great. He
Yeah.
should go out there instead of Finch. But no, yeah,
Well, that's why we have coaches, right? For the interviews.
Crazy. Maybe we'll get Quinn Snyder.
Hey, what's he up to? That's not far off.
Maybe not impossible. God,
no,
so
we're
terrible.
kind of being facetious, Godfrey. However, that's the first person. That's the first person. That's the first person to take the fall. Is always the coach. We were 20-20 with Dwayne Casey, and you know what? We were like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't have happened, but it did. No, I mean, he's always the first person to go.
It is, yeah.
As history has shown it. Anyways, let's try to trade Towns, but not yet. Maybe the 27-point efforts are going to boost his trade value from 2 firsts to 3.
Watch us trade. Here's another wild prediction. This is everybody. My takes are getting too wild, like Casper.
They're pretty wild.
They're getting too crazy. But here's just one totally off the deep end. Okay, we're really bad, and Golden State is having problems internally.
So Cat goes to Golden State.
We trade Cat to Golden State for Draymond
and Jordan Poole.
And not Jordan. He wouldn't come with. But we could get Wiggins back. I hate.
We gotta throw in a couple first, though. We gotta throw in a couple first for that.
I hate being a Timberwolves fan. All right. Well, maybe that is my cue to stop talking and end the show. But if I'm right, then everybody has to come back here and sub. And if you haven't already, you should subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 300. May or may not be
trying to get to 300. Yeah,
we may be doing a giveaway soon. You never know, and we might have to get to certain numbers to get to those giveaways. So yeah. I don't know.
You guys, if we get to like 500 this season, we might get like feet cams. Like who knows?
Oh yeah, feet cams. You know, I did lie about the hot tub. Hot tub stream last year. But hot tub stream might be possible, more so in Washington than in Minnesota, because
where it's legal. It's legal in Washington.
It's legal, yeah. But yeah, man, oh man. Well, anyways,
everyone here in Seattle is just like laughing their ass off at Russell Wilson. So it's like nothing else matters right now. So
I mean, that's like a good time.
Christian Anthony Edwards on getting booed. It feels crazy. I be saying something, but the fans are not wrong. We look bad. I definitely don't ever want to be booed again at my home. I'll figure it out. Oh, will you?
He's getting to, okay. So like, I do like Ant's post game interviews are by far the most entertaining to watch. Just like the way he talks and like his mannerisms throughout it are just phenomenal. You know, I love it. But it's real. But I am just slightly starting to get to that level of like, okay, I've heard you say these kind of things before. Like, you know what? I'm gonna fix it, or like, you know, things like that. And it's like, I'm starting to need to see action. Like, I am getting a little impatient with those statements. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm not there like I am with Cat, where I hear Cat and him like pounding on the table, and I just want to like completely shut down everything, delete our YouTube, and just forget basketball ever existed. That's not where I am with him. But like, we're getting to like level 0.05 out of 10 of like, I'd like to see more action come out of these statements than just the statements. So
yeah, totally agree on that.
But anyways, any final thoughts? I know we just had final thoughts for like 20 minutes, but I don't have anything else to say.
Russell
I think
Westbrook popping off, finding his identity in true form in Minnesota, tradition against us.
it could happen. I think it is very likely. And I hate to say that, but I think it's going to happen. Anyways, well, thank you all for spending your evening with us after such a terrible game. Truly, we don't deserve you guys, but I appreciate you guys all hanging out, and commenting and subscribing and liking the video and everything you guys do. So I appreciate it. We will be back Wednesday after the Spurs game where we should win. And if we don't, my takes will get even crazier. So that might be exciting. But we'll be back Wednesday after the game. It was great seeing you all. This is like an AA meeting.
Yeah.
True. We'll be seeing you. 52 wins is still in play. 62 wins is, I guess, still in play. Intro as the outro. See you Wednesday night. Peace.